Welcome to week 1 of PRM 600. This is Dr. K, and I'd like to talk through what you'll be doing all week. The first thing that we have here are objectives, readings, and resources. These explain that generally this week we're talking about the project environment. Anytime that you have a new project, it is unique, and the environment in which it operates is unique. Putting in a new Subway restaurant in West St. Paul is not at all the same project as putting in a new Subway restaurant in East St. Paul or in China. The other thing, so we'll be talking a lot about projects and what they are, and then also you'll be reading Schwalbe Chapter 1. You'll be reading in the PMBOK Guide, Section 1, Section 2, and Appendix X3. Now, in the PMBOK Guide, section means chapter, generally. When we say Section 1, we mean the whole Chapter 1. And because it's a standard, we don't tend to refer to it as chapters. We tend to refer to it more as sections. The next item is academic integrity. Go ahead at your leisure and read through this document called Week 1 Academic Integrity in PRM 600. What it does is review for you what we expect for you in terms of academic writing. If this is your very first course, this may be all new to you. If you are midway through your program, you know most of these things and nothing is new to you. But what we want to do in terms of academic writing is right from the beginning support your ability to write in a professional and appropriate manner for graduate writing. The next activity is Quiz 1. Quiz number 1 is based on the project environment and on this week's reading. And what we really expect you to do is do your reading on Monday and Tuesday of the week. And then on Wednesday or before, certainly before the end of Wednesday at midnight, go ahead and take the quiz. You can take it twice, and the higher of your two scores will actually be used in the scoring. You get immediate feedback on the quiz as you take it, so take it once. If you don't like your score, take it again. If you don't like your score the second time, don't worry very much. 3 to 4 points in this class are not going to make the difference between an A and a B or a B and a C for anyone. So don't get overly frazzled about quizzes. They're mainly to help you understand and focus in on what's really important in the reading. The quiz answers and the explanations for those answers automatically get displayed on Friday at 6 in the morning. And so take the time on Friday, especially if you got some wrong, or even if you didn't, to go back and read those explanations and understand in a little more depth what's going on with that particular important concept. The next element for week 1 is the discussion. You'll be discussing the project environment, and you'll discuss it in terms of what you read in the PMBOK Guide and in Schwalbe. Most of the elements of any project are already in place before the project begins. Everything is set in a particular environment. But how does that really influence what you as a project manager need to do? So what we'd like you to do is, using appropriate APA citation format, submit one original post by Wednesday, by the end of day Wednesday, where you really address this question in some depth. That probably means 3 or 4 paragraphs, appropriately cited. Then go through and begin replying to other people. And your reply should have some depth. It should ask about what they talked about. It should agree or disagree. And it mainly should tell us why you agree or disagree and add to the discussion. So go ahead and continue replying up until Sunday evening at 11:59 when that week closes. There are other assignments that if you get 2 or 3 or 4 days behind, it's not a big deal. But here's the problem. Sunday night at midnight, everybody just goes on to the next week, and you could write the most fabulous posting, and nobody would read it. And so we don't give you credit, or we give you reduced credit for discussions that come later than the week in which they were due. Now, here's the other thing that happens that screws people up with discussion. As I see a posting for your, this is worth a total of 15 points for all of your work in the discussion over the week. But I am actually reacting to individual posts. So when I see your main post, I may say that's worth something between 1 and 10 or 1 and 8 points, depending on how effectively you argued your point, how well you use citations, and all of the other issues that are in the rubric. So I may give you 7 points. And if you look at that, it's going to say 7 points out of a possible 15 means that you're only that you got a 50%. You didn't. What's happening is that Engage will go through and sum. So let's say that you got 7 points on your initial post, and then you got 2 points for your next post, 2 points for your next post, and 2 points for your next reply. So in general, you could get 7 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2, whatever it takes to get up to the score that you want for the week. But until you have finished all of your posting for the week, the score is going to be incremental based on what you've submitted to that point. So here's the next activity. It's very optional. There are no scores associated with it. And if you want to make sure that you're on track for doing well on the major case study analysis in week 4 and week 8, and if you want to see that the way that you're using APA formatting is appropriate, we'll give you some feedback on that in your discussions, but this approach to it is a very specific, formal approach, and I'd like to see you adopt this in your writing. So what you will get if you go ahead and do a submission here is very focused, personalized feedback that explains what you did in terms of your writing and how you could improve that writing. So this particular assignment asks you to paraphrase the major part of the concept, to use a direct quote appropriately, and to provide an example of what the to apply that concept in an example, a very brief example. The only remaining activity for the week is on Wednesday to look at your quiz answers. So that's the entire week 1.